I can
Oh,
hear whatever you're watching in the back, by the way, Carl.
okay. Welcome to episode 6 of the Usual Spot podcast. I am here with a stacked cast, a loaded cast. We've got Marshawn and his government name and his do-rag. We've
They
got
can't see my government name.
Yes, we can.
No, they can't.
I'm
Oh,
just
they
letting.
can't?
Okay. You
No.
didn't have to interrupt me. I was just letting you know for when you edited it later.
When you
we could
said
have
my
done without
government
the
name.
sarcasm.
I was just letting you know for when you edited later, Marshawn.
Yeah, no. It doesn't show up.
I know.
When I download the files.
You said that last week. We've got Marshawn and his do-rag, Tevin and his Expedition 33 t-shirt, Carl and his bangs, and Dell and his moving background. We have got
Oh, sorry. Talk about it later.
we've got a wonderful docket of topics to cover today. We're gonna just jump right into it. Highly anticipated finale of The Last of Us season 2 was last night. The creator, Neil Druckmann, confirmed that the Fireflies would have been able to make a cure using Ellie's brain. What are your thoughts on what?
Nothing.
What are y'all's thoughts on that? And then we can get on to everyone's overall thoughts on season 2. I will
We're doing it
start
the other
with
way around.
Like getting into season 2
we can
first,
do it
and then
either way.
I mean, I don't really got.
Yeah, and then talk about have you been seeing the discourse surrounding that though?
I guess we're starting with this.
Like what people have been saying. Oh,
and he's gone.
Dell left. He's gone. He's out of here. He probably just connected to his Wi-Fi.
He's like, I don't have much to say about this, DCs.
But have you guys like seen anything like surrounding, like the discourse surrounding him saying it, not just like all of the news outlets that have been like putting it out here and there.
I didn't see him talk about it, but I think the confirmation is one of those things of like years of watching people miss the point of that ending. So he has to come out and be like, guys, like, yes, there would have been a cure. Do you understand the moral dilemma now? Like, do you get it? Does that resonate? Because I think for a few years now, or probably ever since that game came out, the discussion hasn't been, like the morality of picking one person you love over all of humanity. Like, wow, like the trolley decision, right? It's been, well, that decision, that there's no weight to that decision because they weren't going to make a cure anyway, so I don't have to think about it. I know that him saving Ellie is the right thing, and end of story, book close. Which is like not really the point. Like, sure, they didn't get the science right, but the point is that you're supposed to believe that they can make a cure, so you weigh that decision out.
To me, it's
so.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, to me, it's a moot point anyway because everybody in the universe thought that it was a cure. When Joel talks about it to Tommy in the beginning of the second game, he's like, they could have did it. They could have made a cure. So it didn't. To me, that's like it doesn't really matter what the facts of the situation are because like the fact of the matter is like they all believe that she could have been the cure, and that's what matters. And that's what
that was my point.
Yeah, that's what Joe still made a decision, thinking that. Everybody else still thought that. Ellie thought that. Like, it doesn't really. It's only for like us on the outside, and it's like it doesn't change anything about the story at all.
Yeah, this is something that we'll probably get more into when we talk about season 2. But like, I was talking to Sean about this too. Just people are so attached to these characters that any thought experiment that you put them through, people just don't want to engage with because they want their two characters to live happily ever after. Like, I don't want to think about the fact that Joel did this knowing that he's dooming humanity. Like, it's easier for me to just go, it wouldn't have worked anyway, so it doesn't matter. So he made the right call. And that goes for the first Last of Us and the second one.
I think I asked that question about discourse because I saw someone tweet and say like they were like coming at Neil Druckmann saying that like he's a terrible like he's terrible, his writing skills are terrible, this is the reason why he fired quote unquote 2 people who were there to like pull the reins in on his writing or check his writing or whatever the case was, and saying that he basically kind of like fucked it up by saying this because there, I'd have to go look at the tweet, but it was like a weird point that they were having, like leaving it ambiguous helps the story more because what they were alluding to was like leaving it ambiguous helps me cope with the fact that Joel did what he did. Like that's kind of what it felt like.
To my point.
I really wish I had a tweet because I don't want to miss like what this person, but that is literally what it felt like because it was like now that we know that Joel like did this regardless of like, you know, them having the cure, not regardless of them knowing that he they can make the cure or not, it makes him look like an even more bad person or some shit like that. And I'm like, dude,
kind of the point.
He was bad regardless. Like I don't know, like he made a really terrible decision. I mean, based on who you are, but if I'm being honest, he made a terrible decision regardless of if this cure was like if it was confirmed or not. The possibility of making a cure was enough. Like to me, that's enough. I don't understand. Go ahead.
Real quick. If you had to give up Miss Moderator to save the world, would you do it?
Chill out. What are we doing?
That's a different. Listen, if
I'm not saying that I wouldn't do what. Let me answer that question first. I want to make this clear. I'm not saying that I wouldn't do what Joel did, but if I'm looking at it objectively, that is a fucked up thing to do. That is a crazy thing to do. Would I do it? I have no idea what the fuck I would do in that situation. I can't even begin to tell you. Like, I really can't. Like, I can't feasibly put myself in that situation. That is a reason why I'm able to empathize with Joel, even though I think, you know, objectively the decision was the wrong thing. Of course, like if there is a cure, you take that chance on saving people, right? Like that's kind of what you're expected to do, what you know,
but
you're supposed to do.
I also think that if Miss Moderator spent most of her life thinking that she would be the savior of humanity because she's the cure of a deadly disease, and then Sean takes that decision away from her, yeah, it's kind of the bad call.
Also a bad.
That's also like.
I mean, that's an opinion.
Well, no, because that conversation is had in part 2 where she's like, "That was the whole reason I was alive."
Yeah, but I'm just. It's still an opinion. It's still an opinion.
Huh?
It's still an opinion. Just because she feels like that doesn't make it fact. I'm just saying it's an opinion that it's what he's saying is an opinion. Like just because she felt like it is. Just because she felt like that doesn't mean it's not an opinion, right? Like she may feel like he was taking her purpose from her, but that doesn't mean he actually took her purpose from her.
Yes, he did.
It's an brother.
She what do you mean, oh brother?
If she defines what her purpose is, if she is the defining factor of what her purpose is, and she's like, that is my purpose, you took it from me, then that is what that is.
Well, she even has a speech. She had a speech at the end of the first game where she's like, when Riley got bit, I thought I was gonna die too, and then Riley died and I'm still here. Her and Tess and all these people that died on our journey, it can't have been for nothing. Mm-hmm. My life has to mean something.
Mm-hmm.
And Joel took that meaning away from her.
And then he gave her new meaning.
No, he didn't. He left her to be fucking mad as shit and ruin a bunch of other people's lives.
He's gonna say that doesn't mean the meaning was good. It's a meaning. Like he's gonna pull that.
That's not what I was gonna
say. I don't think because
like what else? No, that's not what I was gonna say.
You can't really make that.
Okay, but so what do you mean by? I think he gave her new meaning. What meaning?
She literally spent a good years wondering what the fuck that meaning was, and that moment didn't sit right with her.
I just don't feel like purposes. It's fluid. It's not just like you have one purpose and then you die, right? Like you can have multiple purposes in life, or you can like just because he might have Sure. Let's say he might have prevented her from doing this one thing. I just, sure she describes it like that. It's just hard for me to be like, yeah, you know what? Her purpose for living, he stole it. Because like just because you define that as your purpose doesn't actually make it your purpose. Like, I could sit here and be like, my purpose is to make music, but I'm fucking terrible at it. It doesn't make it my purpose, you know. And I'm not saying that that's what she's doing, but like I don't think
it kind of does though.
No, but she defined it as her purpose because she felt like. But
you can be terrible at making music, but if your purpose is to make, if you feel like your purpose is to make music and you make music, that's what you fucking do. You feel like that's your purpose.
That doesn't make it my purpose. It means I do it.
But also the difference here is like it was the fate of the world, but like that's part of Ellie's character is that she has survivor's guilt. Like when that shit happened in the mall with Riley, after that she's like, I'm living on borrowed time. Like I was supposed to die there with Riley. And I got lucky, and like this is what I'm supposed to do. Like even Marlene is putting it into her head. Like she already feels the survivor's guilt of all these people dying for her to get her to become a cure. So like that was her purpose. So much so that even after that shit, even after the end of part 1, she spends years like that shit just doesn't sit right with me. Like what he told me does not sit right with me. Like she never moved past that.
Okay. Well, okay.
Yeah. So like, yeah.
Look, and I'm not saying
that's why the ending's so cool.
I'm not saying that someone's purpose is like fact or opinion, or I'm not really having that conversation. I'm just saying if she's defining this as her purpose, then that's what she believed to be her purpose at that time. And he took that, she said that he took that thing away from her, and that's how she felt. And that's valid. That's all I'm talking about, is like the validity of it. That's a valid thing.
Okay.
Especially in that situation.
And I think that's what the conversation should be. And for the most part, it's been like 50-50 of like this conversation, and there's another group of people being like, well, the cure wouldn't even work because there's this document that you find that says it wouldn't have worked.
Yeah.
But then that got patched out. So
yeah. I mean the whole discourse around it, because people are just like upset about the fact that he said this, and that's the part that I think is just crazy, because it's like, why the hell are you upset? This does not change anything. Like it doesn't.
I'm upset anything. Because now my baby Joel is a murderer.
He's. I know you're joking. No. It's like, I know you're joking. I know you're joking.
He was never a murderer, but now he is. Do you know what I mean, Sean? Like he was always baby, but now he murderer, and I can't cope with that.
I think if you're looking at that situation in a way where you're like this is the deciding factor on if Joel is wrong or not, is just weird. What'd you say?
Sorry, I see Carl turn his head, and I thought he had a man bun.
Oh, no, this is just messy back then.
Nah, he's got the Gustav going on. You know,
I might dye this. I might dye this silver.
Get the first up.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I don't know. I think that the discourse is kind of stupid. This is like, I think in terms of news, it's a nothing burger, but it became something based on like how people just love to complain about anything surrounding this game. But speaking of complaints, yeah, let's get into it. Let's get into final episode of The Last of Us season 2. Who wants to go first? Who wants to say their opinion first?
I'll say mine first, and then I'm gonna move out the way.
No. We need you to stay.
No, I'm gonna move out the way because I'm not the one with the problem. So like, it's really up to y'all to express what y'all issues are and to kind of detail that. I don't have the issues. I thought it was good. I liked it. I liked the season overall. I don't really have any issues with what's happening. I mean, outside of the initial like Bella as Ellie issues, the other stuff is like, you know, not a big deal to me. I'm moving out the way.
Oh, brother. You're supposed to speak for the others, man. The ones who love this shit.
How does Dell feel?
I'm not mad at this season that much. I think it was satisfying for me, and I think there's some things that they could have improved upon, some choices that they made that like probably held it back from being as good as that first season was for me. But I liked a lot of stuff in this season, and so I'm overall really happy with it, and I'm really excited for what they do going forward.
You ready, Carl?
Let's
get into it.
Rip and tear, brother. Our moderator's gone. We can go crazy.
Yeah,
I guess I don't know. You want to start with positives first?
Yeah, let's start with positives.
I like the acting. I think the acting's solid. I think visually it was pretty solid.
It looked good
throughout for the most part. Yeah, I think that scene where she's on the boat heading for the aquarium looked really cool. All the sets looked really nice, like pretty 1-to-1, pretty accurate.
Yeah.
The positives are tough because for every positive, I have a negative. Like, I like Jesse this episode. We talked about how like, we thought Jesse was kind of cool, but it comes at the price of Ellie's character. Because like, Jesse is cool, and you agree with Jesse, and you're on Jesse's side because Ellie's being a dumbass. And you're like, yeah, you should be mad at her and cuss her out because she's being a fucking idiot. Pretty consistently throughout.
Did you feel that way about Ellie in the game?
No.
Okay.
Because she is pretty capable in the game.
She's capable and she's quiet. She's more quiet about. Okay, so me and Luis kind of talked about it earlier. Ellie's capability in the game, the fact that she doesn't really there's like a cloud of like her not knowing some things, even though you kind of get the gist that she's piecing shit together, but she doesn't have the confirmation of things that Ellie in the show has, and that creates a sense of like what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to. Numbness is not the word, but it creates a sense of like, I don't have to think about.
It's denial.
There you go, denial. She just like she doesn't have to think about the fact that she knows that Joel killed Abby's dad. That's not a thing that she has to think about in the moment that she's going on the tear trying to find Abby. But that's not something that Ellie in the show has. Like, she knows the information once she goes and speaks to Nora, and Nora tells her, which they handle that scene of course differently in the show than they do in the game, and that creates like a whole different Ellie. Like, it's a different Ellie. So it's like capability, denial that Ellie has in the game, and also like she's what's the other thing we talked about? You remember? What's one more thing? I know those were the two big factors.
I would probably say how committed she is to what the fuck she's doing.
Resolve. That's what it is. Resolve.
Like, put it like this: in the game, you can tell that Ellie's being unreasonable, right? Like the way she speaks to Dina, the escalating nastiness of the choices that she's making. But it's never explicitly stated, or if she regrets it, you could tell by her facial expression and the mocap acting that she is having reservations about it, but she's already this deep in, so she's not turning back, right? In the show, you start to wonder how committed Ellie is to what she's doing. It feels like everyone around her is more committed than she is. She had like 3 or 4 moments in this show, in this season, Or she's like, maybe we should just go back. Or, you know.
That's not true.
Yes, it is.
That's not true. I wanted to get out of the way, but now you're just lying.
No, I'm not
lying.
No, I'm not.
Because I went back.
She said, "Let's go back." When she found out Dina was pregnant, she's like, "Maybe we should just go back."
She said, "No, I should take you back." She said, "Maybe
that means let's go back."
No, because she was like, "You shouldn't have come with me." The idea, the whole scene, the whole purpose of her talking, I can't remember the exact words, but the effect was like, "You shouldn't be here with me." Like, sure, I'll take you.
Okay, so
I might take you back, but I'm coming back.
Let's take you back. Let's go back. That's what I'm saying.
No, but what I'm saying is like, it's not like she's not committed. It's I want to take you back, so you're not there, but I'm still doing this. Was just what she was saying.
No, but the whole point is that we're here now, and Abby's right over there, so we need to finish the mission. Like, if we go back, who knows if she's gonna be here in the months that we travel?
That doesn't mean that she can't. I thought she meant like back to the place, like not the theater.
No, she didn't mean the theater. She meant go back to Jackson.
Yeah.
Are you sure about that?
Yes.
Yeah. She said, "Let's go home." They were already in the
Wait,
theater.
we can't be talking about y'all talking about the scene where she found out she was pregnant and she's like, "What are we doing?"
Yes, she was like, "What the fuck am I doing? I'm so stupid. Let's just go home."
That's not what
she did say that. She did say that. She literally spoke about like leaving and going back, and then Dina gives her the resolve to like continue.
That's not what happened. That's not what happened. She definitely, like, at the very least, the gist of that scene is definitely, I'm gonna come back. I should be on my own doing this, not
Oh yeah, she does say that. She says she wanted to take Dina home. Like, she shouldn't be there. Like, Ellie wanted to do this by herself.
At the very least, yes, that's true. Even if, like, because I might be misunderstanding the theater going home being like going home or going to the theater thing. Like that, yeah, I could be misunderstanding that. But I do remember that being like, this is maybe something that I should be doing on my own, not I'm giving up. I'm not. That's not. It's not her giving up.
Yeah,
it's not her giving up.
But
you can't use that as a scene of her not having resolve because she still wants to do it.
That is an example of her not having resolve. I don't know about you, but if I'm pissed and I have a demon in me and I'm trying to get revenge and I'm already in the general location of the person I'm trying to get revenge on, I don't give a fuck who's pregnant. And that's kind of what happens in the game. She's literally like, "You're a fucking burden, but we're here already. I'm going to do this shit." But in this, she's like, "It can wait. We'll just take you back. And I'll come on my own time." Like, that's a bit of a lack of resolve.
Yeah, I don't agree. I don't agree.
Wait, what?
You know, I don't agree.
Maybe if it was just the one time, I can see where you're coming from.
I don't agree.
She does it multiple times.
Because it's like, even after that, the first opportunity she gets, instead of going to check on Dina, she goes and kills Nora.
Okay, this is also a conversation that I had with Sean.
I think it's like,
it's that I feel, and Sean feels this way too, of like, this Ellie is very inconsistent because it feels like the writing is trying to make her not as flawed as she should be. Like, she's not mean to Dina. She's sad about what she did to Nora, and she's like, maybe Nora didn't deserve it. But
her
then
saying that just
but then you
like
have
the lack of resolve that she has, and even that, telling the whole situation, which is weird.
So they're taking these character flaws away. They're making her a lot softer of a character, but we need to have these key milestones from the game. But we're not going to change anything to get there. So it creates this tonal whiplash of this character, where one scene she's like happy-go-lucky with Dina. She's questioning if she should even be in Seattle. And then the next scene, she's beating the shit out of Nora with a pipe because that happened in the game and it has to happen here. And then in the episode after that, she's like, maybe she didn't deserve it. Maybe I was wrong for that one. Which is like, do you even want to be here or not, dude? Like, are you doing this or what?
Yeah, I don't think it's that simple. I think it's I'm not gonna say what you said about the going back to Seattle thing because I don't remember her being on that. We got to go back to like I'm going back and I guess that's the same thing we just talked about, right? But I think this is somebody who's never tortured a person before, torturing a person for the first time and being like, "Yo, what the hell? What just happened?" I just tortured somebody, and I enjoyed that, and like I thought it would be harder, but it wasn't. Yeah, I don't see what's wrong with it. Like if this was the Ellie from the game that has like killed all of these people to get to this point, maybe it'd be different, right? But at this point, it's like who is she killed? At this point, she's killed some walkers. She killed the dude in the first season.
But I think that's kind of to my point of like, it's a revenge story. It's supposed to be about rage and vengeance, and that's just not here. At least not with Ellie.
I think the main issue that I have with it is just like Carl was saying, it's the up and down, and it seems like there is like a lack of just like firm resolve, and that's in part due to the fact that Ellie knows so much, and like she has like definitive information that the Ellie in the game does not have.
That's part of the reason why you don't like her.
And yeah, and because she has that definitive information, it now creeps into like her morality more, right? Or like her thought process of what she's actually doing more than it did with it's more present because they actually are speaking about it, like they're using their words and talking about it, and it's just more present, like, and it's in your face here than it is in a video game. Because even in the video game, like Ellie does contemplate the fact of what she just did to Nora. Like it's sitting with her, you can see as Dina's like washing her back and they're having a conversation about it, and like it's dead quiet, and then Ellie goes like, I made her talk, and like her saying that kind of releases all of the emotions that she was holding in up until that point, because they know she got the information somehow when she came back, and you can see the blood on her face, like when she enters the door and Jesse and Dina's there and she's like looking distraught and like she's kind of out of it, and then like as Dina's like, you know, wiping her wounds and she says like, I made her talk, she kind of breathes after that, and it's like her releasing whatever pent up like things she had like going through. And they kind of do that here in the show, but adding that specific part of like maybe she didn't deserve it, or like maybe she didn't this or that, it kind of like, it's like back to Luis's original point after when we did the review on that third episode of like Neil Druckmann might as well just come out of fucking suit and just say, hey guys, revenge is bad, because it's like they don't trust the audience to just like have an understanding of what Ellie's emotions are. Maybe it could be they don't trust the audience. It could be they don't trust Bella Ramsey to be able to convey the emotions well, like without having to speak to it or like to say certain things. Because why not just have that be like a somber moment and just like be able to kind of read Ellie's face of what she just did? Because when she comes in, she doesn't add, initially when she comes in, I kind of had and this is I guess a smaller issue, but it's part of a larger one. She doesn't really have that type of like somber look on her face. Like she's like talking and like everything's kind of normal. And then when we get in the room with Dina, that's when we like kind of get a better understanding of her mindset and state. And yeah, it's weird. Like it's just this weird, like I've had this weird battle of just like trying to like read Ellie this entire season. And I just think that it's because they want to add these extra additions in the show that don't necessarily align up with the character in the game, and that's fine. But when you do things like in a one-on-one setting with the character in the game, and it doesn't really the character like arcs or like their whole like essence don't really align up, it starts to make these things feel out of place. That's why like the Nora scene just felt so weird, that she would even like the way that Ellie was acting up until the Nora scene, I would be shocked that she would decide to
I disagree with that too.
I would be shocked that she would decide to torture somebody. Like the only thing I can pull from is nothing in the second season of her being able to like be capable of torturing somebody. It's only something that I can pull from the first season of things that I saw, like of her like being awakened when she saw Joel beat the fuck up out of that guy, like right out of the little border section, or like her having like her reacting to the to Joel like ending that guy's life after she either shot him, stabbed, I can't remember what he did, but yeah, like it's only things from that. But in this season I don't get that because everything is just so up and down. It's like her sense of resolve isn't there, like her anger isn't really like to the forefront. It's like I don't feel that here with this Ellie. Yeah, I just don't feel that here with her, and that's like my main issue.
Yeah, I think to that point, Ellie just knows too much information.
Yeah,
like everyone knows too much. Like they're making these changes. Well, this change, they made it so that you sympathize with Abby more, which I think is kind of a mistake. Which I think it's like, now that we know that most of the next season is going to be Abby's story, it makes me question why they went so hard on letting you know why Abby's doing this so you sympathize with her. Like, it's the first thing we see this season. It's like, she killed my dad, I'm going to go after her. Everyone is constantly telling Ellie or reminding Ellie, hey, Joel killed her dad. That's why she was mad. You should be grateful she didn't kill you. It was her dad. It was her dad. It was her dad, just over and over and over again. And that creates two problems. One is for the next season, and one was for this season, which Ellie knows this. So now almost every decision that Ellie makes her look like an asshole.
Over and over again.
Yes.
Who was the over and over again? Nora told her, and I think.
Well, I meant the audience. The audience is being told this over and over again. But Ellie already knows. But even Ellie knowing is still a problem, because her knowing that's the reason and her still doing this makes her look like an asshole.
Well, she already knew in the game too.
No, she didn't.
She did. Because
how did she find out?
Because she didn't. I guess she knew that Joel.
She knew about the fireflies.
Yeah. When did she learn that?
She didn't.
She never learned.
No. As far as Ellie was concerned, that was just disgruntled people. It's like, you got ours, we're gonna get yours type shit. That's
that can't be. So like, you're telling me this whole time Ellie never knew why Abby came for Joel specifically?
She never knew why. That's like a big part of her decision stuff.
I actually didn't know that she never knew. I thought that she didn't know at this point in time in the story.
She never finds out.
That's crazy. I don't know why my brain never.
She never gets.
That's actually kind of crazy.
Because the first thing that we found out about the game was that Abby killed Joel. Yeah. Right. So it was just ingrained in us. But she never finds out. Like, she never gets any closure, which is part of the theme of like having to let go of this anger without getting any closure.
So the fact that she does know, I think this just creates a different Ellie.
So she knows, she's making all these decisions knowing this information, and it makes her look like an asshole. You're putting all these people's lives at risk, and you know what the context is. So now she tells Dina, and Dina's like, yeah, we should go home. This is fucked. This is stupid.
Wait, she didn't know at that point, right? She knew after she killed Nora.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't until, because Joel didn't. How would Joel know Nora that he killed Abby's dad? Joel wouldn't know that information. So it wasn't up until she killed Nora. Like,
okay, yeah,
it wasn't until that Nora told her that, and then I think that I know was like
that information.
Yeah. And at that point, they're already in it.
Yeah, you're right. At that point, they did finish it. Okay. You know, hold on.
I know you got some issues with the final episode. I'm sure.
Yeah. That boat, that Seraphite shit was weird.
Yeah. Very weird. That literally is only there because they want to do a callback for that in the next season. That scene exists for nothing else but that. And I think that's weird because it's like,
you know what it is. I couldn't tell Sean this because he didn't get it, but you watched Prisoner. Well, you've both watched Prisoner of Azkaban, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I watched Prisoner of Azkaban.
Yeah, it's that they're trying to do that scene where they're about to get fucking killed by Lupin as a werewolf, and then someone howls in the background, and you're like, whoa, who could that have been? Remember what I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about.
Anybody? Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
They're doing that.
All right. Well, let's move on to our next topic, guys. If I have to take over the moderator seat for today, ladies and gentlemen. But we're gonna move on to our next topic, which is Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars has been pushed back. Both movies have been pushed back. I believe Avengers Doomsday was supposed to release next year, May 1st, and they've pushed it back to December 18th of 2026. And now Secret Wars was supposed to come out in 2027, May 7th, and now that's being pushed back on to December 17th, 2027. And I wanted to ask you guys, why do you think this happened? Do you think it was because of the recent reception of Thunderbolts and it being so positive? Do you think they want to like spend that extra time to make sure they get this shit right? Like, why do y'all think that they push these movies back?
Well, I had a joke here, and I said that they watched Thunderbolts. They all sat down and watched Thunderbolts, and I'm like, fuck, we need to rewrite the script. People like these scrubs.
I'm not gonna lie, I just can't imagine that being the reason.
Yeah,
I think so. I really think so.
I can't either.
You're going to find a way to shoehorn in a new angle to your story so that it just feels like it's not.
Del, hear me out here. No one gives a fuck about Ant-Man. No one gives a fuck about most of the people that we're gonna have.
No one gave a fuck about these characters until they made a good story around these characters.
Exactly. Now people care, so we have to put them in the movie that everyone's gonna go watch.
That's not true. People like Yelena before they put her in this movie.
They did, but they didn't care about.
Aside from Yelena, no one cared about fucking Ghost.
Who?
You still don't know her name. Ghost.
Nobody knew who that was. I thought this was her first movie.
No, she was in Ant-Man 2.
She's in Ant-Man 2.
What?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
What is she doing?
She's the villain.
She's the villain in this. This is what I'm talking about. She's the bad guy. She's Lawrence Fishburne's daughter.
Wait, actually?
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, it's been a long time.
I mean, the movie fucking sucks. I don't blame him for
it's not a good movie.
Well, it's not really that. It's not that. It's just been a long time, and I barely remember the plot of the first movie.
Sucks.
No, I mean that movie sucks ass.
That movie sucks, and it's been a long time.
Ant-Man 2 sucks.
I mean, I had nothing. I don't really feel like that. I thought it was fine, but
you don't even remember what happened. You don't remember Ghost. You don't remember what happened.
If a movie is, I'm about to say, if a movie is good, you would remember who the fuck that character
Ghost
is.
Ghost is.
No, I said it was fine. Like, it's just a lot of like I watched a lot of these movies, and like I said, I barely remember the plot of the first movie, and I don't even think the first movie was bad. I barely remember. I just remember T.I. I remember and I remember the other dude being like he's Ant-Man like. And so like
you at least remember the villain of that one.
Well, I mean, that's because he's basically Ant-Man. You can't really forget that. I just feel like in terms of all the other movies, this might be the only one where it's like they didn't do anything with her up until now. And I feel like all the other movies, it was like, I'm thinking the Captain America movie, like Red Skull, he shows up a bunch. Winter Soldier, he's the Winter Soldier. Civil War, like,
Red
come
Skull
on.
showed up once.
I mean, he was in the big movie, like Infinity War or Endgame, whichever one. So it's like,
twice.
And he's like he's a Red Skull, and I think he's been depicted in so much other media, like he's in I think the shows, the What If shows. Thor. I don't remember the villain of that first movie, or the second movie.
Those two were kind of whatever.
I remember Hela.
Those aren't great movies.
I remember Hela. I remember. I don't even remember who the villain of Ragnarok was. Well, no, that was Hela, right?
Yeah, that was Hela.
I'm thinking of fourth.
I mean, MCU villains have been. That's been like a big critique of the MCU for a long time, but But either way, Ghost was a nothing character in a pretty boring movie.
Yeah.
So to have her come back and people like her now is a pretty strong feat, honestly.
People like her? I felt she was the weakest in that movie.
She didn't have a lot to do, but people like her a lot more. Like, I'm seeing a lot more positive, like, people are happy about it. They're making art about Ghost. So, like, yeah. Making fan cams about fucking Ghost.
Yeah, I think her power is sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty
I didn't remember seeing her do that. Did she do that in a movie?
Yes. That was her thing.
Look, man. Okay, so
all that to say is I can 100% see them seeing the reception of Thunderbolts and being like, we got a little bit of time, let's rewrite, let's
crazy
fix this.
to me.
Let's course
you know, Don't shake his head. Why do you think that's crazy? What do you think it actually is though? Like, what do you think it is?
I feel like it could just be them not having enough time to execute. Like, there could be so many things behind the scenes that could cause a delay like this. It could just be like just scheduling, or like just them not properly like predicting like when things would be ready. Because I thought like this shit was like easy to kind of like just map out, but like seeing what they're doing with motherfucking Spider-Verse, how they're like constantly pushing that shit back, is like there's obviously. No, I'm just saying, like, just movies in general, just like it could be a whole number of things that could like cause them to like be like, okay, we need another 7 months just like to secure like the quality of this movie. I just can't see it being like we need to shoehorn in enough plot relevance for these characters because of the sex. I just think that's just doesn't feel worth. Like, if you already are confident in the script that you have, I would see it like they just did not feel confident in the script that they have, and they're like, "Yo,
aren't they already like filming right now though? Right, for Doomsday?
Yeah, they're on set right now. Like, matter of fact, a guy snuck on set like last week and was taking videos and shit.
True. Is it so? Y'all have to educate me on this, like in the movie process. Like, if somebody's on set, there's just no fucking way that they're going back and editing the script per se. Like,
they can
editing big chunks of the script.
They can. It's happened. It happens a lot, actually.
Okay,
where, like, we changed it in the
script. It's
from yesterday to today. We changed it.
Yeah, that's a lot of money being.
They got.
I don't
decided to do that. Yeah.
I don't think it's gonna be like, yo, fucking, we're gonna have a whole big battle, and now we're just gonna, like, I think there's some things that's like we just can't afford to cut just because it's like we already spent so much money on like the creation of it. But I just feel like it would be so crazy to be like, yo, let's find a way to insert these, because I'm pretty sure like those characters are probably going to be there. They just might not be as prevalent as they probably have intended initially before Thunderbolts came out. And I think what y'all are speaking to is like, oh, are they going to have a bigger presence now that like people have had a positive reception to them? I just think like, no, it's like just make a good movie, and people are going to fuck with the characters that you have in it, like, regardless. It's not like people hate the characters that you already established. It's just like they just did not like the movies that you made.
No, 100%. That, along with the fact that they directed the post-credit scene for the Thunderbolts, and they filmed that, like...
Who is they?
The Russo brothers?
Yes. They directed that post-credit scene, and they directed it recently. Like, they filmed that recently to put it as a post-credit scene.
I don't know. It might be some validity to what he's saying a bit, I guess.
I'm telling you, they watched that movie. They watched that movie, and they were like, "Oh fuck, they're actually cool. We need to put them in the movie more."
My thing is like, what else could it be though?
I mean, these movies get pushed back. Like, I think, like Dell was saying, all the time for like whatever reason. Like, this isn't.
But I'm curious, like, what the reason is now, right? Because we don't know why some of these other scenes. Like, if we were to look at the evidence of some of these other movies getting pushed back, it could be because of COVID reshoots. Like, that shit happens. Like, them taking certain portions out to the plot. So it's not like an insane thing, like what Luis is saying. maybe the portion of like seeing this movie and like wanting to change the entire script to make it feel more like this movie. I don't know about that per se.
Yeah, that's a mistake. That's a mistake. That's a mistake.
Why would you say that? You don't like the vibe of Thunderbolts?
I just find it interesting how Carl can feel like Neil Druckmann is beating us over the head and not say a peep about Thunderbolts.
That is not the same thing in my humblest of opinions.
I definitely think so. When I watched that movie and when Florence pulled aside Bob and she's like, some days I don't want to live. It feels like a void. I was like,
she does it though.
Okay, I know what this movie's about now. Is this the theme? Are they like, is this the theme? Is this a piece of wood? Are they beating me in my head with this theme? Oh, I see. You know, and so when it turned out to be the theme, I was like, okay, I'm not surprised. And so that's kind of like one of my issues with the movie in general. Just I think maybe younger me would have like probably fell for it and been like, oh my god, something that talks about the experience, you know, and it's like, oh, wonderful. But I do feel like they were beating over the head with it.
The power of friendship, you didn't like that?
I don't know if I cared about that per se, but just the idea of like I'm not a fan of that first conversation she has with him, and the fact that they reference it. Like, I watched that in the theater, and as it was happening, I was like, oh, this is kind of corny. Like, just this black boy. Oh, it's just like it feels like that's not like it's like that's how somebody feels like people going through depression would feel or something like that. I don't know. It just felt so surface level, and it's like, yeah, let's say it here, and then we'll hammer it home later, and so it just makes, yeah, like I don't know, and it to me it's so weird because it's like I feel like people would be complaining. I don't know why people. I feel like people would be complaining if this was any other movie because it's like Bob is not an interesting character. Like his power is interesting. What they do with it, the Sentinel shit, and the fact that
are we talking spoilers?
Oh, I thought we were.
I mean, it doesn't. I mean,
I'm asking. Matter. I'm making sure.
Yeah, I thought we were.
I think a former heroin addict with bipolar disorder becoming a superhero is pretty interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't think. Maybe it's the actor and his portrayal of that. It doesn't feel like that.
Also, I love the way that they portray the power that he has, like that. I guess it's like a empath power, right? Like, and we've seen this in other like shows or games and stuff like that. They've done the empath thing before, and it has been corny. I like the way they do it here because one, the flashbacks are believable, and they're easy to empathize with, and they feel like they're effective. It doesn't. I think it is. Like, I think looking at Yelena's past, I think looking at
that one was effective. But the other dude's
past,
that shit was like,
him talking to his wife.
It's like hey, look, you want to get the baby? I'm on my phone. Like, it's like, what the fuck? Wait, this is like Florence is dealing with the trauma of getting her friend killed when she was a kid, and this dude is over here dealing with the trauma of being on his phone sitting next to the baby.
That's not all it was.
It's like, what are we talking
about? We doing trauma Olympics right now? Well, it's different for everybody.
Well, first off, but that's also not all that it was. What he's looking at on his phone is him failing to be Captain America, which like in the show was a really, really big deal for him, of like having the weight of that on his shoulders.
Yeah, sure.
Mm-hmm. So him failing at that and then failing at being a father as well, to where your family leaves you, I think that's more so what he was looking back on. It's like,
why didn't we see that then? I would have preferred to see like
leaving him?
Something like that. Yeah, to me, this just wasn't that. Like, to me, it just didn't feel like it was like that big deal. And I took it as moments of regret
like we only really see it with Yelena and him, and the other and the evil lady. I forget her name.
Yeah. Which also she has a great flashback too.
Yeah, it's a great flashback. But I think the tying thing of all of those is like there's some form of regret there that they did something bad, that they fucked up in a way. And the whole point is like that moment shouldn't define them. Because like Yelena, sold out her friend for the Red Room mission or whatever. Walker, was a shit father and a shit Captain America. And then the bad lady, she was a kid, but I don't remember her name. Defonte, I think her name.
Yeah.
She told some guy that her father owed money to where they lived, and that like that fuck up haunted her for the rest of her life.
I think it's more so like, for me, it's like that Florence thing that could have been that is, it kind of is like the origin story, and for Defonte it's like or at least big turning points in the lives, and it's just like, to me, this isn't like his moment. Isn't like, hey, this is a moment that would create a superhero or a supervillain. This isn't a moment that is like
supposed to be that?
A turning point, because it felt like that's what the other ones were. Like she had to watch her father die, like, and the other girl is like that was her first time she did that, right? Like it was a initiation to get to where she was going, right? Like it was the thing that set her on the path.
But I don't think it was supposed to be like a superhero origin story. I think it's supposed to just be, that was a shitty thing I did in my life, and I feel like shit because. What do you mean?
I just feel like the weight of, I'm not saying superhero origin specifically, but I'm saying like the weight of it is like that, right? And I just
I think the thematic relevance is just these are big moments where I fucked up, because the whole theme of the movie is we're bad people, we did bad stuff, but now we want to change. And then you get that scene with Bucky being like, they took a chance on me, I'm gonna take a chance on you fuckers, let's go do this. So I think that moment with the void is just supposed to illustrate that they've done shitty things, whether or not it was out of their control, and depending on the severity of it, it's just moments that they personally regret. I think it's more, I like that John Walker thing, because I think it's very telling of his character that that's the moment that he regrets, and not killing the dude in Falcon and Winter Soldier. He completely feels justified in that, and he even mentions it when they're all in the room where they're like, you killed an innocent guy in front of everybody, and he's like, oh yeah, define innocent, buddy.
Which is so crazy.
Well, I think that's why he's so like the most interesting, right? Because like I think that's why I really love his character. Like I'm glad they brought him back, and I don't know if I loved him in the show, but like I really loved him in the movie, because it's like I think Florence is like, she's kind of reformed. I feel like her dad, he's kind of reformed, but this dude, like I think he's like, come on, man. He's one bad. Like if you say anything about Captain America, he will still kill you. Like there's no like, it's not like Florence where it's like, I'm trying to do better. I want something more. He's like, I think he does want that, right? He wants his family back, but there's still that part of him that's like, it's not even like subtle. Like the second that she called him like a default cap or whatever, he pulled the gun on her. Like she was gonna die that day. And I think,
well, to be fair, he was her mark. I mean, she was his mark.
No, I'm talking about Defonte. Like when they were in the room. The second she brought up Cap, he pulled a gun on her, and he was gonna kill her. And it's like, I don't think Florence or any of the characters have that like it's like a tick, and he still has it. And I think that's what makes him like the most interesting.
Yeah, like he has flaws still. Yeah, I like that too.
Yeah.
But I don't think that means that the rest of these characters don't, though.
I'm not saying that.
I meant more so of like a overtly negative character flaw.
Yeah.
Where the other ones, they have their flaws, but it makes you sympathetic towards them. John Walker is still just kind of an asshole.
Yeah, I think, but and it's also like, I just feel like the movie doesn't portray it like that. Like the Yelena's flaws, it feels like she trying to own up to them. She's trying to make a difference. She's trying to change. She doesn't want to be like that anymore. She doesn't have like a there's no, if you test me, I'm gonna go back to this moment. You know. For the dad, I feel like it's the same thing. Like he feels like the worst thing he did was not be there for his daughter in this movie.
Well, his motivations are purely comedic.
Yeah.
Of like marketing and brand recognition and sponsorships.
Yeah, and I don't know what Ghost's deal is. It doesn't feel like she went through any particular. That's why I'm at least interested in her. I don't feel like she went through any change. It felt like her change was just like, hey, everybody's changing. You know, it's time for you to change.
I think they wanted to tie her shit to the stuff she was going through in the movie, in AnimeOTY movie, because I think they're talking about her growing up like in a box, or like her powers just kind of having her fucked her whole life. But they didn't really get deep. Like if you didn't watch or care about AnimeOTY, then
you wouldn't know.
You probably won't. Yeah.
Because the whole thing is supposed to be that she never had a chance.
Yeah.
And now Bucky's giving her a chance. But I agree. I think she was the weakest written of she took the more of a backseat compared to the rest of them. Not counting Taskmaster.
John Walker might be my cap for real.
Bro.
Yeah.
Whoa.
He might be.
What I tell you, Sean?
And now it's time. You actually fucking said that. That's so crazy. But now it's time to get to move on to the next one. That is so crazy. He got you so good. Like me and Carl had a conversation about this. After we watched the film, he said you was gonna say
yeah, he's a new guy.
He said you was gonna say that shit, bro. I was like, no, I don't think Tevin gonna do that shit like that. He was like, watch.
Kept that one in the holster for about a month.
I mean, I haven't seen. I haven't seen.
That's such a suspicious.
That's a crazy read.
I haven't seen I haven't seen Captain America 4, so like,
it's not going to change your opinion.
It's not
because
that's fucking hilarious.
I wouldn't say he's my new Cap, but I would say that he's definitely written a lot better. I think it's a bum hand that Anthony Mackie got, that he's just in a boring fucking nothing movie, and Walker got dealt a better script. He's just a more interesting character to watch on screen. It's just sorry to Anthony Mackie.
So, I'm about to say, bro, they doing that nigga so wrong, bro.
And you know what? I realized it's not even really Anthony Mackie's fault, because I saw him. He's in an episode of The Studio, and I loved him in that episode.
Really?
Yeah,
I need to watch that. I need to see some Anthony Mackie shit, because I only really ever see him in
he's in Black Mirror.
And
Fighting Vipers.
Episode, but,
you never seen Fighting Vipers? You should watch that.
I know about it, but I've never seen him really outside of Marvel, and I think there's some.
You saw him in 8 Mile. His real name is Clarence.
I did see Pop, but like, no, I'm talking about like any like real like, I guess more drama specific roles outside.
I mean, his agent's not the best. I don't know if he picks those movies or what, but
maybe not. Well, let's move on to our next topic. Going within the animes, movies, and television topics we've been speaking about. Recently, it has been announced that Solo Leveling has won Anime of the Year for 2025, guys. And I want to get the temperature on
what was the list of nominees?
Guys. So the list of nominees that they beat out this year. Hold on, let me pull it up. It was Dandadan, Delicious in Dungeon, Frieren, Beyond Journey's End, Kaiju number 8, The Apothecary Diaries, and Solo Leveling. So they beat out those nominees. What's the temperature? Do you guys think that this is fair? Do you think that this is? Well, I don't want to say fair. Do you agree with this? Do you agree with this winner?
If that's for season 1, that's insane.
And we're gonna do it again next year.
This seems to be for season 1, because the art that I'm looking at is from season 1.
Insane dick ride. Because I watched season 1 with Tevin.
We're gonna do it
and
again
I thought
next
it was
year.
cool. I thought it was fine.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was very okay. Put up against Dandadan and Frieren and even Delicious in Dungeon.
Yeah.
Nobody watched that shit. Nobody watched.
What the fuck are you talking about? No one watched Dandadan? Nobody watched Delicious in Dungeon?
No. Nobody watched Delicious in Dungeon. Yeah, nobody watched that.
That's not true.
Nobody watched it.
Oh, yeah, you're wrong.
You're actually super wrong.
I'm sorry to say, and we did it. We did it this year, and we're gonna come back for the 2P next year. It is what it is.
There is. Listen, I can't speak for season 2. I cannot speak for season 2. There is nothing in Solo Leveling season 1 that is remarkable enough for it to get anime of the year, and I liked it.
Drawer.
Hey man, Sun Jinwoo also won best anime protagonist.
He did.
I also disagree with that, but I know why he won. I know why he won because he's fucking MC,
anime daddy,
fucking aura protagonist.
No, he won because he's the MC of the most popular anime. It really is just a popularity contest.
He won best main character too, right? Is that the same thing?
That's what I said, isn't it? That's what I said.
It's all the power fantasy dweebs.
That's what I said, isn't it? Or that's not what I said.
Yeah, that's what you said. Best protagonist, whatever.
Best protagonist.
It's the same thing.
Okay. I thought you said best male protagonist. My bad. I didn't know.
I don't know if those two are split.
I already didn't have respect for this award show, but now that it's like guaranteed that like this is just a popularity contest, it's like I don't.
Also,
like, leaving the Game Awards, I guess like a credit.
Who won last year? Wait, who won last year? Was it Freerun?
I think it was AOT. No, wait.
No. Was it Chainsaw Man last
Let's
year?
see. No, it definitely wasn't.
It definitely wasn't. I think it was Demon Slayer, maybe?
Yeah.
No, it wasn't Demon Slayer. It was Jujutsu Kaisen.
Okay, no, this is a popularity contest. That's got to be what it is then.
Well, JJK was the best season that it deserved the award as well. Don't do that. Don't do that.
I do.
Let me go back and look at that list.
No, but it was like that was the year where Sean was like, "Vinland's gonna win," and it didn't.
Yeah, if we. I can't. Y'all put me in. Okay, that's fair. I'm not mad that Jujutsu Kaisen won because that season 2 was godlike. Even though I love Vinland Saga, like I think
it wasn't godlike.
What?
It wasn't godlike.
Okay.
What, season 2?
It wasn't godlike.
I'm not about to do this. I'm
not saying it wasn't.
I don't know, man. I don't think I believe the Solo Leveling had because it beat out Demon Slayer for best action anime, and it's like. I feel like
the shit hard, bro. Wait. I will say the shit is hard.
Season one is hard.
Yeah, I think if this was season 2, I would not be mad.
Exactly. If this was season 2, I wouldn't have an opinion on it. No, season 1 is a solid 7.
The Demon Slayer season it beat out is the Demon Slayer with the Demon Slayer season with the least action. It's the training arc. It wasn't like
okay. I'll take your word for it.
But look, what I want to say about this is. Like, I think that it is a popularity contest, but I do think Solo Leveling is deserving. But if I'm gonna give my opinion on it, bro,
you think season 1 is deserving?
It's not. I'm not putting season 1 over anything Freerun. I'm not putting season 1 over anything Dandanon. It's a fun time. It's a fun fucking time, though. It's like what they say in the GOAT conversation, you know, to put one thing up.
Wait. Are you talking? Down. Are you talking about season 1? Because I don't remember you saying it was fun until season 2.
No, I think season 1 is fun. I think season 1 is fun. I think season 2. I think season 2 is fun. To me, both of them they kind of align. I wouldn't put one over the other. I think especially like the ending towards season 1 was like where I was like, oh. Like I started to kind of get into the hype of the show where I'm like, okay, like I fuck with it. This shit, like he's just Aura Man, the fucking protagonist, you know? And he's just like, I like the idea of, I like where they go with his powers. I think it's like cool, like him being a necromancer, like, you know, constantly getting better in a sense. Like that shit is cool to me. I like it. You know, my fucking shonen brain is firing off like watching this fucking
I'm sorry,
show.
bro. I feel like
it's good.
Season 1 is eating off of the hype of season 2. That's just me.
I can agree with that.
Because season 1 came out, it was cool. People was like, this looks, you know, good. You know, some people thought it was mid, but overall it was received positively, and they was like, hopefully season 2 they booted up some more. In season 2, they went absolutely fucking crazy, and they kept going crazy, like back to back to back episodes. And that's when it was like, yo, Jinwoo is that nigga. He could be Gojo. It was like the conversation and the way the culture surrounded the show in season 2 was
like to your point,
astronomical.
It's the reason I watched the show. Like it's the reason I decided to watch the show.
Exactly.
It's because when that first season came out, like niggas were fucking with it, but it wasn't even close to like dominating the conversation the way that it did when season 2 was dropping. Like the amount of niggas that were meat rotting this show. Like I started watching the show to hate. Cause like you know I love a good hate watch. Like I was like, okay, like these niggas is over exaggerating, bro. Like it can't be that good. And I went to go watch it and I'm like, hey, you got me. It's good. The shit's good. It's quality. It's good shit. I can't front on the show. It's good shit. But I do think Del has a point there. I think it potentially could be eating off of the hype from that season. But like I think that's the nature of it when we're doing the votes or we're announcing it as late as we are right now. You know,
it's like brother.
But that's the benefit.
I think we were at the height. I think we were at the height, especially in season 1, and the height of where Freerun was. This would not be like I feel like Freerun would have cleaned that up.
Oh,
like
please.
if it stopped like before that, because the Freerun hype was crazy. It was crazy.
The Dandadan hype was crazy.
Nobody gave no Freerun.
Exactly. Like,
I don't think it should have beat out Dandadan, let alone Freerun.
Oh please. Nobody give a fuck. Let's be honest.
You're living in your own world, bro. You're living in your own world where you think no one gives a fuck about Dandadan and Freerun and Delicious and Dungeon.
Comparatively, season 1 of Solo Leveling was more popular than all of them. That's all.
Doesn't mean it's the best anime.
Oh, I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying it was more popular.
McDonald's is more popular than, fucking fine dining. I don't mean it's better.
Sure, but we already know it's a popularity contest, so let's talk popularity.
Crunchyroll awards are washed.
They got
Ninja Kamui as best original anime. That shit sucked ass.
Well, how many original anime were there?
I mean, for this to have won, those other anime have to be atrocious, and I just don't think that's the case.
Honestly, but the thing is, we also are looking at like Crunchyroll's. Even though, let me not say that. Maybe they have like some bias though of like what they allow to stream on their network and like.
Ninja Kamui doesn't stream on Crunchyroll, right? Ninja Kamui was HBO Max. Yeah,
no. I'm saying in general of like what gets nominated, right? Like maybe there's some animes out there that I know, but I'm saying like it's like a situation where it's like like any anime could technically qualify, but like. Maybe there's a bias with the judges of what is actually streaming on the platform and what. Are you
saying that the Koreans paid them off?
I'm not saying that. I'm just
the manga companies paid them off.
I'm just saying, like, okay, there's like to like give an analogy to like in skateboarding, right? Like Thrasher magazine, they decide who is the skater of the year. That's the one that everybody looks at to be like, they are the skater of the year. And there is like a known like complaint in the community of there being an inherent bias towards people that decide to upload their videos through Thrasher getting noticed versus someone who may have like a terrific part that didn't upload their videos through Thrasher. So what I'm saying here is like maybe there's a little bit of a bias.
Oh, I guess if you're like, I guess that would make sense
for things that are like maybe specifically going on High Dive or some shit that like might if you're show on Netflix or what I'm saying, because if they're trying to promote their own platform in that manner, it's like of course you're going to put the thing that you actually have available on that platform.
Or maybe just
but that's confusing because Crunchyroll is its own platform. So why would they support High Dive? Why would they support HBO Max?
No, I'm not saying. I'm not saying.
It's more so the people voting. The people voting are already on Crunchyroll, so they might be more inclined to vote the Crunchyroll shit because that's what they've seen.
Because they're the ones that initially put the
thing.
I don't understand.
But no. So like, okay, so the way that the process goes is that initially the ones the animes that we vote on that are nominated, right? Because the judges make up 100% of that vote. I know that was confusing. So the nominees that we see, like for whatever the categories are, the judges make up 100% of the vote to put those nominees there. We then vote on those nominees, and the fans vote are 30% of that, and then the judges vote are 70% of that. 70. I'm saying for the ones that get nominated for like that 100% of the vote of the judges of like whoever's on the panel with Crunchyroll or this, that, and the third. maybe there's like an inherent bias of what is getting nominated because of like, okay, we're gonna look at what's streaming on our platform first, or like what is actually streaming on our platform first before we start to get into anything that's streaming on other platforms that we don't have access to. That's what I'm saying. If that makes any sense.
I'm still confused by what you're saying, because how does that how is Ninja Kamui involved in that?
No, I wasn't saying that into Ninja. I was speaking in general. I wasn't relating it to the Ninja Kamui point because I don't even know anything about that. I was just saying I was making another point.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I also think that, like, if I only ever go to your house, Tevin, and they're having a competition about which one's the best house in the neighborhood, and the voting booth is at your house, so, well, your house is the best one, man. It's the only one I go to.
Yeah. So explain, but then why does Ninja Kamui win? You know, different house. Why does it win?
I think that one probably won because that one, of that list, that one got the most hype because the first episode people were fucking with the animation. I remember people talking about it.
What was the list? I want to know. What was the
let me see if I can.
I probably don't know any of these animes.
Real quick though, did you guys have a favorite anime of the year that wasn't on this list? That came out last year that y'all want to shout out? Oh, I think that might be one of the only ones I watched last year.
I still haven't seen that.
I believe
Bleach.
The second season was last year.
Bleach.
Bleach, really?
Bleach should have. Yes, Bleach was animated year last year. What? Bleach should have been on there, and it should have won. Yeah, actually, I put Bleach over.
Catch up to Bleach? When the fuck did you catch up to Bleach? When did that happen?
What are you talking about? I've watched every season of Thousand Year Blood War.
Been watching it.
When it premiered.
But I'm saying, like, you caught up to like all of Bleach. Like, when?
I watched. I watched all of Bleach way when I was a kid. I watched all of Bleach.
Bleach should have won over Solo Leveling.
Yeah, I think so.
Then how did it lose Best Action Anime to Solo Leveling?
Popularity contest.
What? Popularity contest.
Yeah.
What about? Okay, so Del said Oshinoko. Tevin said Bleach. I don't think I would have one because I don't think I was really watching anime like that last year.
I wouldn't put.
Okay, if I was to say something, it would probably be. If Free One was last year, it would either be Free Ren or Don, I think. But those are on the list, so I don't have one that isn't.
I feel like Don season 1
Samurai was last year too.
Is in the same boat as Chainsaw Man season 1. But they're in the same boat.
What is?
Don and Chainsaw Man.
Popularity wise?
Like the way people talk about them, how the conversation goes, like the perception, yeah.
I don't disagree with that. But yeah. Carl, you got anything?
No, mine was Don.
Okay. All right. So we're gonna move on to the next topic here. And we're gonna get into a bit of some gaming news. So really not gaming news, but more just a gaming topic. Now, to harp on or to segue from favorite anime of the year into what game of the year is going to be, we are halfway through the year, upcoming in a couple of days, maybe 5-6 days at this point, which means that the Game Awards is only six months away. We got Summer's Game Fest maybe 2-3 weeks away. It's getting around that time where it's time to start making some predictions for what we think is going to be game of the year at this point in time. I wanted to ask you guys, what is your favorite game that you've played this year? What is your game of the year, and what do you think is going to be is going to win game of the year this year?
You starting with?
Let's start with Del. Del, what is your favorite game you played this year?
Do I have to be in it, or is like just anything I touch?
Anything you touch.
Probably Expedition. Expedition, Monster Hunter. Yeah, I haven't gotten that far in Pirate Yakuza. But
really,
beat that game.
Really,
I'm actually kind of shocked. I thought you beat that game.
Really, you of all people, you didn't like the filler? You wasn't feeling the filler?
It wasn't.
You've been busy, man.
Yeah, I wanted to beat it before Monster Hunter came out, and I just couldn't. And so, after Monster Hunter was fucking, I think Death Stranding. I was playing a lot of stuff, but but yeah, Expedition and Monster Hunter are the two that's up there for me.
I think right now Expedition is pretty like the front runner for me. That decision might get a little harder next month when we get our hands on Death Stranding 2. See what that's about. But I think if we're making predictions, Split Fiction is definitely up there.
You play it with your sister?
I want to, but just based off of the reception of that, there's no way that's not getting a slot of Game of the Year.
Okay, like in the nominations, right?
Yeah, that's like the highest rated game this year so far.
No, Expedition was way higher.
On Metacritic, it's a point higher.
Expedition, maybe now, but what are you talking about?
Split Fiction's at a 93 on Metacritic, and Clair Obscur is at a 92. It's like
I think it went up to a 93. I thought I saw something saying that it went up to 93
right now. Well, if it's at a 93, then they're tied. But like it's up. It's top, if not one of the top, if not the top.
It might have went back down to a 92, but I saw someone like report that it actually went up to a 93.
Yeah, that was them. They.
It might have went back down. Then.
Split Fiction is at a 91. What are you talking about?
I'm literally looking at it right now.
I might be looking at different platforms.
Oh, I'm looking at PS5. On PS5.
Because I'm looking at PS5 Clair Obscur, which is a 92.
Through all titles.
Yeah, like and Split Fiction is a 91 on PS5.
On all platforms, it's 93.
For what?
What do you mean? Split all
Fiction?
Platform. Yeah,
Split Fiction. Okay.
Yeah. But anyways, like Split Fiction is definitely up there. Blueprints is up there. I've played Blueprints.
It's up there? Oh, you meant like Metacritic score wise?
I mean reception critically, like it's getting a slot. Are we talking personal or?
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Are we talking just what we think Game of the Year is going to be? Because personal right now it's Clair Obscur. Like that's what I want to win.
Yeah, I thought we were talking about personal.
We're doing both.
Yeah. A personal, I think Clair Obscur is what I want to win for sure. Like I said, Death Stranding might come out next month, and that'll change my mind.
And that could change.
It could change. But as of right now, it's definitely Expedition. But as far as like what's getting nominated, like Split Fiction's definitely getting nominated. Clair Obscur is getting nominated. Blueprints is getting nominated. Even though I played it and I've been bouncing off of it, and I'm just like, maybe I'm just not in the right headspace to get into Blueprints, or maybe my RNG is just bad. But like, I don't know. I like it. I don't like it Game of the Year as much, but maybe I'm dumb, and maybe I'm just not looking. I don't know. It's not clicking with me. Yeah. Everyone else loves it. All the critics love it. It's not quite clicking with me. I'm gonna keep playing it in hopes that it does eventually click, but I'm just not there yet. Kingdom Come is definitely getting a nom.
Deliverance nominated.
Yeah.
For what?
Game of the Year.
Yeah. So y'all don't think Ghost of Yote, Death Stranding 2, Expedition 33,
I'm just
Assassin's Creed Shadows is not getting
no.
Well, I haven't said anything yet.
Well, I just think I'm just saying based off of what's out already, I think those are definite like locks right now. If we were doing
I really don't think Kingdom Come is a lock.
I don't think it's a lock either, but Tevin, what do you think? What is your Game of the Year this year right now? What do you think is going to be in the nominations?
Well, I mean, I'm sure you could tell that my personal game of the year
on his fucking TV. Are you playing the soundtrack on your TV?
My personal game of the year is Marvel Rivals.
Oh,
brother! Oh my god!
Good bit.
That doesn't wait. That actually qualifies, right? Because it came out in December. So
no, actually, but like if we're talking about single player, of course it's Expedition 33. But if I had to talk about the game I had the most fun with, like this year, it's Marvel, like easy hands down.
I can't believe we're in this timeline where you are hooked on like a hero shooter. That is, I don't know why that's so shocking to me. Because maybe because like I haven't seen you like play multiplayer games like that before.
Yeah,
like well to that extent.
Yeah, because I don't. Yeah, who would have thought? All you had to do is put some good Marvel characters in there and not be fucking first person and made by fucking Blizzard. Who would have thought? Who would have thought?
Yeah. I think so what do you think are the nominations? Well, let me get it out the way. My game of the year is Expedition 33, hands down. It actually made the list of my top 2 games of all time. That's how much I love this game. I think that game is fucking amazing. Yeah, that's all I really gotta say. My game of the year. Now the conversation would be like, what do y'all think the nominations are going to be like? What do they have about? They have about maybe 6 to 8 slots. I think the most they've ever done is have they done 8 slots? I can't remember. It's always up and down. Like it's never definitive. It's maybe the most they've done is 6. Let's just work off of 6. What would be y'all's 6, like in terms of games that came out now, some games that potentially released towards the end of the year that y'all are aware of? Like, what do y'all think that will be?
Okay, we're going GOTY.
I can agree on that. I agree on that.
Expedition 33.
That's 2.
Death Stranding 2.
That's 3.
Hollow Knight Silk Song.
Please be fucking for real. Okay, no, let's not do this.
No, I'm being for real. I'm being for real.
I'm about to spaz, Tevin. I'm about to fucking spaz.
I'm being for real.
Stop it.
It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. Look, it's coming. It's too much information out there. It's coming. It's coming. The information is there. I haven't seen it, but there's every single sprite in the game of Hornet. It's out there. I've seen some of the pictures, but I'm not trying to look because I want to get spoiled. But the information's out there. And
even if that game pops up, let me not say that because I don't want.
They confirmed
on the. I don't want the button.
I think some of the.
I told you, Sean. Give me my props, Sean.
I think some of the. I think some of the most important historical figures are like Martin Luther King. You know, Harriet Tubman, Santa Claus.
Wait, they confirmed this year, right? Or like they said like.
Man, that's just not real.
It's real. It's real.
Does not exist.
It's real.
It doesn't exist until it's in a store.
It's real, and just you wait. Just you wait.
Hey, I hope you're right. I don't hope that you're wrong.
I also meant to say I think my personal favorite at the end of the year, single player wise, would probably be Lost Soul Aside. But I don't.
Get out of here! Get out of here! That game's gonna be trash.
No, it won't be trash.
That game will be, bro. That game looks stale as fuck. The movement looks janky. It was fucking frames dropping in the trailer.
Can I get some clarity? I don't give a shit about that. Is this list like if I were a betting man, this is what I think is making it, or what I want to make it?
Well, no, we were doing like if I was a betting man, but I forgot to mention that when I was talking about my preference.
Yeah, Lost Soul Aside is not making it if I'm a
of course not. But like I'm pretty sure at the end of the year.
What do you think that game is going to be your favorite game of the year? You know what? The only way that game is your favorite game of the year is if you're doing it out of fucking spite. Telling you right now that it's not going to be your fucking favorite game of the year.
Wait, that's the Final Fantasy Devil May Cry game, right?
Yes. Yes.
I still don't think it's getting game of the year, but
I'm not saying it is.
Like butt cheeks. The game's actually coming out this year. They're gonna fucking delay it. Watch.
Oh, you just hating now. Okay.
I don't think it looks like butt cheeks.
Bro, that shit don't look fun, bro.
Be nice. One guy that made it. Well, he has a team now, but
Hell is Us is coming out September.
Yeah, I get that. I get that the running animations might not look great, but the combat is what I care about. I don't really care about the other shit. I care about the combat.
And the combat's gonna be ass, and it's gonna be basic. It's gonna be flashy, but it's not gonna be fun.
I don't know, man.
I don't know. I've seen some of the buttons, and it's like it's gonna be more in depth than Stellar Blade, and
it definitely looks like more depth than Stellar Blade. Like this looks like.
How can you say that? How can you say that?
Because I'm watching
how can you fucking say that?
He's style switching in the video. Like I'm watching video right now, and this is like.
Did you play Stellar Blade?
Yes, dickhead.
Okay, I just had to make sure.
Man.
Hey man, that shit gonna be butt. And I'm praying on his downfall. Well, no, I'm not, because you said it's a single guy. One guy made it. I hope he.
Dude, he's doing like fucking judgment cuts and shit. Yeah, this might be like Devil May Cry levels of bad.
Yeah, that's what I'm hyped for.
This me when the game come out.
What were you saying? Yeah, you can sleep, but just like you slept on Devil May Cry 5, you're not the action guy type. But I am.
Yeah, I mean, you played Nier Automata. That's like your thing. That's your live and die. But like, chill out.
Yeah. Why am I not the action guy type? Why is that not me?
This isn't your space. You just
it's not your space.
It's not my space.
Nah,
it's just not your space, man. It's not your bag.
But why am I not the? Like, you're not the action guy type. Why are you the fucking action guy type? Tell me why. No, Tevin, tell me why you're the action guy type.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Where's your credentials?
Devil May Cry 5. Easy, one of my top 5 games of all time.
You played an action game. You're now the action game guy.
Yeah.
Okay. so I'm qualified then. I'm fucking qualified. If that's the case, if that's all we have to fucking do.
No, you played an action. You played an action.
Thank you for that. No. Now when you refer to me, to me as action guy Sean.
No, I refer to you as action RPG guy Sean. They're not the same. They're not the same.
They're not the same.
Devil May Cry is not an action RPG. It's an action game.
I played Stellar Blade.
That's not, that's not upper echelon.
I play fucking Stellar Blade. I'm the action guy. Refer to me as action guy Sean.
Stellar Blade is not. Stellar Blade is not. It's like
if he gets that moniker, then so do I. Because he's played.
This is like if Tevin was like, yeah, I'm a swimmer because I swam in the 8-foot end, and you're like, well, I'm also a swimmer because I stepped in the kiddie pool. I was like, okay.
So Stellar Blade is a kiddie pool?
Yeah, if we're talking about mechanical depth in action game, yeah, dude. Yeah. It's a very simple game.
Yeah.
Like, do you think Metroid gets a nod?
Metroid? No.
Unfortunately, I don't think it will.
No, I think
I think that game's going to come out and hit a cool 80. I'm gonna love it.
I'm gonna love it.
I'm gonna love it to bits.
No, you're not.
Look,
but
let's move on. All right, man. So what we got? So we got just to cap off. We got a Hollow Knight Silk Song. Does anybody agree with that one? No, we're taking that one off the list.
Yes.
Okay. So we got Expedition 33.
If it comes out, then yes on the list for sure.
Okay. So we got Expedition 33.
What if it comes out in its butt?
I believe it's not going to be butt. That's not going to be butt. That's one thing I don't know. If that game does exist, it's not going to be butt. We got Expedition 33. We got Split Fiction. I think we all can agree Split Fiction will be right there, right? It'll get a nom.
I think it'll most definitely get a nom.
Okay, yeah. Split Fiction. We got Death Stranding 2. I believe Ghost of Yote is going to be there, so that's 4. We got Hollow Knight, Silk Song, potentially if it actually arrives. And then number 6. What is number 6?
To a T. You remember To a T?
To a T.
Yeah, that game where the kid is T-posing.
Okay,
remember that game?
No.
You remember?
I don't know what you're talking about.
You remember with the kid and he's stuck T-posing? Look it up.
What is this guy talking about?
I don't know.
You guys remember this, man? It's the Katamari guy. He made a game where kids stuck as a T-pose.
Get the fuck out. Okay, man.
It's a heartwarming story about kids who have conditions. You don't get it.
Yeah.
Now I feel like an asshole.
Yeah, fuck
now I feel like an asshole.
Yeah, look at you.
For saying that. Anyways, man. On to the next gaming topic. So I did want to ask this amidst there's drama in the FGC specifically.
You're gonna have to explain this one to me because I don't know.
I am gonna have to explain. I'm gonna go a little bit in depth. It's not too deep, but deep enough. You know what I'm saying?
It's hot.
There's drama in the FGC, specifically in the Smash Bros community.
Oh no, this could go.
I know.
Direction.
This could go literally anywhere. But no, there have been situations where people who are competing in these Smash Bros tournaments, they are getting banned from these tournaments. They are getting banned in certain spaces, and it's because of their political views, bare minimum. So there is an understanding that in the Smash Bros community, they are very left leaning. It is full of leftists, and Mewtwo King, who seems to be apolitical. I don't know much about him. I mean, it doesn't really fucking matter. He kind of goes, not, I won't call it a rant, but he goes like on like a 6 minute, like, monologue or whatever you want to call it, talking about the space and how like video games and these tournaments should just be about video games, and it should just stay in that space, and political conversations should not be in these spaces or shouldn't be a deciding factor of whether or not someone gets banned or not, or whether or not someone is able to compete or be involved in these communities. So
is there an example? Like, is there a specific situation that he's talking about?
So there is a specific situation. I didn't do enough research, and that's on me. I can speak only about, well, I can't, no, actually I can't speak about that because that doesn't really pertain to someone actually being banned. But there is a specific example. I just don't remember what it is at this moment, but there are people who they lean kind of more right, or they've like said some things in support of Trump, and they've kind of gotten called out for it, and not called out for it, but they've been like, pushed out of these spaces or pushed out of these circles. So if we want to, I can play the video of him like ranting for 6 minutes straight. If y'all want to watch it, I don't know.
Do you know the key? Do you know the key points? Like,
key points?
I'll watch
the key points is
30-minute clip.
The key points
30-second.
Oh yeah, that's what I meant. Sorry, Jesus
I was Christ. Say, yeah. The key points are basically these gaming spaces should be apolitical. Politics should not be involved when deciding if someone is getting banned out of these spaces or not.
I just need to know what he's referring to, because I think if it's someone using hate speech and being like a fucking asshole, and he just happens to be on the right, like, yeah, that guy should be banned.
That's nice, but
from my understanding, it wasn't that. From my understanding, it wasn't someone doing hate speech. It was someone supporting Trump.
I think there's the one in the technical. I thought this was a different topic, actually. I thought this was the technical thing, but I think in his video there was like he talked about some guy saying, the thing about trans people, the tagline. I don't have the word for it, and they got banned. And I think my thing is like, how can you? I mean, hey, fuck it. And I'm saying that because it's like, sure, ideally we want political politics to move, but now you have to sit here and you're playing a game with a person who you might view as not them, and it's like that affects it. There's mentality in that, and it's like those people just might not feel comfortable because you said that, and so it's like
yeah, I think to that point, like,
you start to get into the semantics of it, right? Because if the people who are governing these events are wanting to make it a safe space for everyone who attends there, I'm not saying this is what these people do. I don't know, but I have seen like very left leaning people in these spaces say very like which could be deemed hateful things, or things involving straight men, or things involving people that they view to be opposite of themselves, which they feel like is in retaliation. So how do you govern someone who says, hey, my opinion is I don't believe trans women are X, Y, and the third, and then someone saying all this, like someone saying something that could be deemed just as, on a surface level, just as like hateful or like not understanding of the person who said that. Like, how do you gauge that? So you just ban them for having that view, or like speaking
these are all community run events, right?
Tournament organizers do this, so it's like,
but it's like a community run. Like, it's not backed by Nintendo or any official.
No,
company,
it's
right?
not. It's not backed. It's not backed by Nintendo. But like,
I don't think Nintendo supports any of this stuff, right?
No, they don't.
No, that's kind of what I'm.
But that's the thing. Is like,
towards.
But they try to be neutral. Is the whole point. Is like they're trying their best to be neutral. But when you take like, because I saw Technicals talk about it in his video. When you ostracize these people who may not even be right leaning or like are in these political groups, and whatever opinions that they have that you may disagree with in whatever political sphere that they're in, this, that, and the third, like, and they clash and you ostracize them, the only thing that they'll do is just go create their own community, and it festers, and it, you're not being inviting, I believe, of everybody, right? Like if someone has
these are Smash players, they're doing that already.
I mean, yeah, that is true, but that's like that's the point of what they're trying to point out, and like and feel is happening. Is like these things aren't simply staying like with the game anymore. Like it's becoming a space where it's like, if I have a political view that does not agree, and if it's just strictly politics, not even the trans like woman thing, right? If it's like something that does not agree, people are getting ostracized and then like being pushed to be canceled or banned, or like not being able to compete at these tournaments. And for some people, this is their livelihood, this is how they make their money, this is how they create content, this is like what they do on a day-to-day basis. So like if someone is like getting banned for these things because they believe something and they speak about it, how do you navigate that? Where
I don't know. Maybe I'm just biased, but if it's in support of this current administration, yeah, no, fuck you, get banned. I don't care. Cut and dry. I mean, like,
look, I mean, I get you taking that stance, but I also think that there is something to that where it's like, where does it end? Because if you have that mentality, some people who aren't deserving of getting put in those spaces are getting put in those spaces. Like some people who are just apolitical and they don't even really care that way or the third are now getting put in a certain box, and people are calling them names. People are like,
is that what happened?
There are like literal things that are happening where it's like trickling down. Like there's some people that may deserve it, and then there are other people who are just like more so in a neutral space. They don't really give a fuck about anything, but they say certain things or they have like certain opinions that could align with this, but they're not all the way over here. Like,
I would have to see the example because it's like I don't get it.
From what I've seen though, I feel like people have been taking a lot of things like that too far, because it's like, why is a situation where someone is being banned unless they are actively harassing someone? That's my question about the whole thing.
Is SGA is at the free throw line.
Grow up.
There's like 2 seconds left on the
Does anybody have anything to say to that, Del, Tevin? No.
I just don't know like I just need to know the examples.
Yo.
Okay, I hear you now.
Yeah, I don't have nothing. I'm sorry.
I've already said what I was gonna say about it.
Might have been a waste of topic.
I would just need to see the example, dude. I don't like I just don't know what you mean that they're just like in the middle and they're getting banned. Like, what did they do?
They have opinions on trans women
and that's in the middle.
They aren't. Some people may have opinions on trans women, but they not be right leaning. They're not like right leaning, or they're not like, they may not associate themselves like,
well, then
like
it's
a Trumper or whatever.
But then that's not a.
Is that a bannable offense?
I think if you have trans people at your community and you speak negatively of that group, and the community doesn't want you there because of that, like, I don't know, seems valid to me.
What if it isn't inherently negative? What if it is a belief of like, I just don't think that they're women, but I don't have beef with them?
Why are you talking about it?
Maybe it was a question someone asked.
Well, if you wanna, I don't know, you can't be like, oh, the Smash tournaments aren't a political. There shouldn't be a political space, and then you're announcing how you feel about something political.
But they're not doing these things like in the spaces, like at the tournaments. They're doing it in their own communities.
Like what? Like while they're streaming?
Yeah, like they say while they're streaming.
You political streamer? Or are you a Smash Bros. Streamer?
Is that how that works though?
If you are trying to post
not to shut up and dribble.
I'm just saying, like, if you're trying to if you're like, I shouldn't have been banned because this should be about Smash and not anything political, and you're on your stream talking about political shit instead of just playing Smash.
That's at the. Is that how that works though? So it's like, wait. So
I think if you are publicly, if you're saying I'm not political, I don't care about political shit, I just want to play Smash, and then you're talking about political stuff about people that are in the community that you participate in.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying
I don't know what you're saying.
Okay, so what I'm saying is, regardless of them saying that, if there is a governing body that is supposed to be in a neutral space and like allowing people to just come and play games or whatever the case is, if someone has that opinion and they go out and they say that opinion, but they're not saying that they're going to harm anyone, they're not like directing hate towards anybody else, they just have this opinion that people disagree with, but it's not directly harmful. It's not like, hey, like I don't fuck with this, and if they come up and try to talk to me, I'm gonna do something, or if they try to I'm gonna do something, or I can't talk to them, this, that, and the third. They just have this opinion that is like people don't agree with, rightfully so. I understand. I'm not one of those people that agree in that space, but I'm saying if someone just has that opinion and they get banned for having that opinion on whatever public platform that they were on, where does the line draw? Because now it's like you would be servicing that community of saying like, hey, people who do this, don't worry, we got y'all, they're protected. But if you have those people that are coming out and saying certain things that could make another group feel a certain way, then like how do you juggle that without like making it look like hey, we're only going to protect these types of people? Like this is a left-leaning space. Like anybody else that has like any that isn't like in this space or like has like the opinions of this, like how do you make it not look like that?
Okay, so I'm caught up to like because I kind of zoned out. So I would need to see exactly what they said, because if it's as simple as I just don't think they're women, that's just my personal opinion, blah blah blah, then if that comment and opinion was said separate from the organization or the tournament that's being held, I feel like that's not grounds to ban someone. Now, that's just if I was running the tournament. Now, the tournament is ran by whoever runs it, and they have their own rules, and whoever they feel. If it's my tournament, and I feel like I just don't want people who have that opinion in my tournament, then that's it's your tournament. You can do whatever you want. But me personally, if you have an opinion that differs from other people and you're respectful with how you deliver it, and you're not trying to like be whatever, and it's separate, and you're saying that opinion separate from my organization that I'm trying to keep apolitical, then it's like, fine, just come play your game, keep that political shit out of tournament, and just go on about your day. I feel like it's not that deep, but it depends on like what exactly they said. If they was just like, because you know how people can kind of be like, very malicious with the things that they say, and even if it's something as simple as like, I just don't think blah blah is blah. It just depends on like how they're directing it, because people can say something in a way that's like very malicious and hurtful, and like intentionally trying to be that, and that might make people of that community uncomfortable to want to come and be in that space with that type of person. So
yeah,
I'll need to see what they said exactly.
We can talk about it a bit off stream when I go and find some more information. I came a bit unprepared, I guess, for this conversation to have like in depth with y'all. I just didn't have enough evidence for it, but yeah.
I just think, I don't know, like I feel like these Smash journeys are pretty community driven. Like they're not really backed by anyone super official. So I think in that regard, I think they operate by like what's best for the community. And if someone's a problem, they kind of house them because it's so community driven. Like they can stand how bad they all smell, but bigotry is not allowed, which is like I could commend that. So I don't know.
I just feel like yeah, we just have to talk about it some more because I just don't think it's just as simple as like, yeah, we're just gonna make sure like this is just not this. Like, yeah, I don't know. It's just inconsistencies in that community, and it's pretty fucking toxic. Even like from
I mean, it's Smash. I hate that you have me kind of leading on the side of a Smash anything.
I don't know. I'd have to get more information. But on to the next topic, man. Well, we have finished our main list of topics. We will now be getting into our famous segment, usual or unusual. Of course they did. Usual unusual.
So sad.
Kiana isn't here, but I'm gonna do it. The dun, 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 dun,
oh my god.
Dun, 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 dun.
Makes me more upset when you do
it. All right, man. First things first, up on the topic. Now there was some photos that came out recently of Frank Ocean in Japan with some sheets of paper, or I believe like some posters that they were posting up next to him that spelled spelled the name Frank on them. And people were speculating this might be indicative of a new album coming, like something surrounding, something supposed to be coming out in the next couple of days or something. And obviously, it kind of turned into nothing. But I do want to ask you guys: do you think that him being out there and those posters being out there and that billboard being out there that said Frank on it, do you think that is usual or unusual?
A Frank Ocean album is my Silk song.
Don't
talk to me about it. Don't ask me about it. If it ever shows up, I'll get excited then.
The question honestly should be, is the fact that he hasn't dropped music. Yeah, is the fact that he hasn't dropped music dropped a project since 2016. Is that usual or unusual for an artist of his caliber?
I mean, it's I think it's unusual for artists of his caliber, but it's usual for Frank. Frank wants to, he wants to come out, live his life, go do his terrible Coachella sets, put in minimal effort, and then go back to living his life.
He broke his foot or something.
Yeah, whatever. Nothing. If that's the life he wants to live, then cool. But
where's the sympathy for him breaking his foot before he got up on that stage?
Fuck.
I mean, his brother died also.
Yeah, like come on, man. Like
then cancel the performance.
Honestly, that's crazy. That was crazy.
Cancel the performance.
Do you think it's usual or unusual before I
love you, Frank,
into my whole thing?
I guess it's unusual. I guess it would be usual just because it's like I don't even be knowing Frank exists sometimes. I'm like, damn, Frank is an artist that I used to listen to.
Yeah,
I forgot that he's still out there somewhere. But it's very unusual.
His music will be forgotten too.
I don't think his music will ever be forgotten. I don't think it can. It's too impactful, man. And people still be using cuts of nights and some like Lost and Pyramids. They still be using that shit on TikTok. It's still everywhere. His music will never be forgotten. I think it is unusual that it's going this long without he's going this long without dropping a project. I do, however, think that he was gearing up to drop something. I can't prove this. He was gearing up to drop something when he was dropping those singles a couple of years ago. It might be half a decade ago at this point, around 2018, 2019 or something. A little bit more than half a decade ago, where he was dropping those singles up into the point until his brother passed away. And I think that derailed whatever concept he might have had to release an album around that time, because processing grief, especially somebody that is close to you that way as a sibling, is like, it's devastating. I can't imagine that. So I think that might have like furthered his hiatus much more than we will ever know. Do y'all think that we get an album anytime in the next 2 years?
No, never. I think he's done.
You think he's done with music?
Yeah, you won't see him until he pops out to walk around on stage.
There's reports that he's working. All he does is make music. People have been saying it.
That's propaganda.
Whenever that movie is supposed to come out, that's probably when we'll hear more music.
What movie? His movie? He's
allegedly working on.
Apparently, he is working on a movie.
He's doing it with that guy.
He's doing it all, huh?
He's doing it with that guy that's in the Alien movie.
Yeah,
the black guy.
Yeah, he recently got added to the cast. David Johnson. It's him and what's her name? I keep forgetting her name from Bones and All.
Wow. Damn, I can't believe I forgot her name.
Taylor Russell.
Taylor Russell.
Oh yeah, Taylor Russell. There you go. Yeah.
She's also attached to that movie, which I also I'm not even convinced is real as well.
What is his involvement? Is this just the music?
No, he's writing and directing it apparently.
Oh wow.
Writing and directing it, but somehow he's got time to be in the studio. He's been
working on that movie for good.
If he's writing and directing the movie, we might never get an album.
It's a nice
cover. The Weeknd did it. And that turned out great.
I don't know what The Weeknd's doing.
It's a nice cover story, but I think he's at home, feet up, pajamas, eating chips.
Shut the fuck up. Shut up. I'm trying to be nice.
Let's get into it.
You understand that? I have to go. I have to go.
I have to go right now. He's pointing at his phone.
He is able now. What if he goes back? What if he's like, able was a mistake? I'm The Weeknd again. Sorry, guys. What if he pulls an HBO Max on us?
Oh, he's fully. I'm not into The Weeknd lore, so he's fully going by Able now.
Yeah, that movie was his introduction as Able. Or was it the idol?
It can't be, right? Because if the album was his last touch as The Weeknd, why wouldn't this movie?
Well, I would imagine that the movie being a part of the album, it's supposed to be the transition to him now being able. Because I can already see I haven't watched the movie. This is without me having watched the movie. I can already see in my head that he was like, and when I finish this movie, it's going to say written and directed by Able. And that's how everyone would know I'm not The Weeknd.
Well, I think they would have done it anyway, though. I don't think if he written and directed it before, it would have been The Weeknd.
But I think that's the point of like, all my creative endeavors now are Able.
Oh, okay.
But what if he's like, oh, fuck, go back? Like HBO Max to HBO Max again.
That's just some Diddy shit. We'll leave that to Diddy.
Huh?
You know, Diddy with the names.
Oh.
With the names.
You can't just
Love, Daddy,
now that you're saying it, I remember. But you can't just say that's some Diddy shit in today's context and climate.
Some Diddy shit.
But Diddy shit has taken a completely different meaning. You can't just say that.
Imagine YouTube videos getting flagged.
It's not really
mentioning Diddy. Imagine if we get flagged just for mentioning Diddy.
It's not really Diddy shit though.
Huh?
He went by every name in the book just eventually to go back to P. Diddy.
Yeah, but you could still call him any of those names. I think The Weeknd doesn't want to be. I think Able.
You can still call him The Weeknd.
I don't think he wants to be called The Weeknd.
Like he dead named him.
No, it's quite literally Diddy shit because a lot of the times when Diddy changed his name, he said, "Don't call me this anymore. I am now this." And then time started going by, and it's like it doesn't matter what you call him. I think it's going to be the same thing with The Weeknd. It's like,
I think he doesn't want to be called The Weeknd anymore. I think he does. I think he wants to be Able.
He's still going to be called The Weeknd. You can't that's the thing about that's the thing of why I call it Diddy shit. That's the thing why I call it Diddy shit is like you can say you don't want to be called something, but after you have been going like years by this and like this is your stage name, people are gonna see you and call you the fucking Weeknd. Like because that's what their introduction to you was, and you've been going by that name for over a fucking decade.
Please, you call Childish Gambino Donald Glover?
I think that's different.
I call him Donald Glover now, and he wants to be known as Donald Glover.
Donald Glover, exactly.
But I think that's a little different because he had a career as Donald Glover when he was acting.
But I still call him Childish Gambino occasionally.
Before the music shit popped up. I think it's interchangeable.
I was talking to Dallas yesterday, and I called him not yesterday, but 2 days ago. I called him Childish Gambino. And
I think with Childish Gambino, it's like whichever name comes to your mind first.
Yeah.
But both hold the same weight because he did Community and the stand-up stuff before. So it's like it's not the same as I have to adjust to start calling him Abel.
And people have been calling him like his first name here and there, like whether it be as a joke, like how they do with Aubrey, like with Drake, like they do it that way too as well. But he's still the Weeknd. So to me, it's just like you can try, but we'll see how long that shit lasts. But all right, moving on to the next topic of usual or unusual. Randy Pitchford, who is the chief of Gearbox.
Just the name alone.
Gearbox.
All I need to Randy Pitchford, Pong.
Yeah.
I don't care what he did.
It says that if you're a real fan, he says that if you're a real fan, you would pay $80 for Borderlands 4. Now, I do want to give more context to the exchange that he had, right? What?
Let's
talk about it.
I don't want to give him the benefit of the doubt.
Let's talk about it. So he had an exchange with the fan that I believe, I don't know what platform this was on. This might have been on...
It was on the Twitters.
It might have been on Twitter. Responding to
fan. It was on Blue Sky.
Media.
Oh, it was on Blue Sky?
No, it was on Twitter.
Randy Pitchford was on Blue Sky?
It was on Twitter, X, whatever, Twitter. Anyway, the exchange was, Randy, this game better not be $80. Don't take that risk. A lot of gamers aren't going to pay $80 and feed this notion of constant increase of the price tag. You are the CEO. You have some say with the price when it comes to your publisher. And Randy's response to that was, A, not my call. B, if you're a real fan, you'll find a way to make it happen. My local game store has Starlight for Sega Genesis for $80 in 1991. When I was just out of high school working minimum wage at an ice cream parlor in Pismo Beach, and I found a way to make it happen. Now, do we think that this is usual or unusual? Is this exchange usual or unusual?
Stop fucking talking about 30 years ago, old man. Die.
This is boomer man yells at cloud bullshit.
Go away.
But $80 is kind of fucking insane. Like, I don't even know what the adjusted price for that now, you know, in consideration of inflation, all that shit. What is that right now? It's got to be like $100
Yeah, but I think him being like, I did it when I was a fucking loser high schooler with no job or responsibilities. I saved up the money. It's like, all right, dickhead, I don't give a fuck. What if I'm not afforded that luxury? Like, what if I am a fan, but I have bills and shit, and I can't be spending $80 plus on a game?
Yeah.
Like, you sound kind of fucking dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? I saved up a bunch of money as a kid. I didn't have to pay bills. What the fuck are you talking about?
What a bad response in an era where people are saying something to you and you have the opportunity to directly respond to them. Instead of assuring them, you go, "Not my call."
Figure it out, dickhead.
And I did it.
What did he say? What did he say?
It's like, what?
Yeah,
like,
I like to think he was like, "Well, I get a load of this guy.
Yeah,
he can't save up $80 for his favorite game."
What's that meme of fucking Jerry?
Oh yeah.
Just don't say anything, bro. Because now.
Well, I respond to that though. I do think it's weird for him to respond to that
because it might be $80.
Because he thought he would get a sick burn.
Well, then shut the fuck up. Don't say anything about it. I mean, if it is going to be $80, it's like, you know.
Because it might be $80.
I do think it's a bit unusual that he would do that. I don't know the guy like that, but maybe it's in his character to speak that way. I'm not sure. I
don't know. I think
you think anything about this?
Unusual. Fuck Randy. He's weird.
Yeah, like I don't know. He's probably used to spending a lot of money maybe on stuff like USB sticks. You guys should Google Randy Pitchford USB
and lawyers.
stick.
I am kind of scared.
And lawyers.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I'm gonna send a video. I'm gonna send a video for y'all to listen to. It's so fucking funny, bro. That shit's hilarious.
Randy Pitchford left a fucking USB stick full of porn at medieval times.
If you have a USB
on you,
come on. If you have a USB of porn, you are in way too deep, buddy.
Also,
you are in way too deep. I don't understand it.
Wait, hold on. I might have to hit the J. Cole. Hold on.
Whatever you're about to say. Wait, hold on. Wait, whatever you're about to say, buddy.
Just hold on,
bro. No, you know that. You know the type of porn it was, though.
Yeah. I think maybe you should do an. I'm gonna do a hold on to you.
To his hold on.
To his hold on.
You gotta do the motherfucking what's his name? Funk Flex. You go whoa. You know, whoa.
I think maybe you should look at the article and see what kind of porn was on that stick, brother.
Oh my.
I'm not. Wait. I'm not siding with anything Randy Pitchford is doing. I'm just saying the general idea of having that on your thumb drive, you know.
No, you're in too deep, Tevin. You are in too deep if you have a USB with porn on it. Why not just the internet's right there?
Allegedly underage porn.
Oh God.
Alleged. So
let's see how to hit the. Jesus Christ. Okay, that's the perfect time to say. That's the perfect time to say.
Unusual. Randy Pitchford as a human, unusual. I think that'll be my call on this one, guys.
Jesus fucking. How does he have a job if that's the case? How does he have a career?
Look, dude, when Borderlands 4 came out, me and Tev said the same thing. We were like, how are you still here?
Yeah, lawyers.
It's fucking insane. That's fucking insane. Okay.
Lawyers and settlements, I think.
Randy Pitchford and Magic. The Beastcast? Okay, I gotta check this out.
All right. So last topic of usual or unusual, guys. This one is, I guess, kind of leads into a part of a larger topic. So Young Thug posted on Twitter as a reaction to Kid Cudi being subpoenaed into court to testify against Diddy. Against the Cassidy, I don't know if it's Diddy versus the state. I'm not sure. Whatever the case is, he reacted on Twitter and said, "Damn, Cudi a rat," in a now deleted Twitter post. And there has been an odd discourse surrounding. I'm sorry, that shit is fucking with me. But there's been an odd discourse surrounding the fact that Kid Cudi got subpoenaed to court, people calling him a rat, and questioning, I guess, his credibility. Is this usual or unusual?
He blew up my car. What the fuck are y'all talking about?
Listen. Is this usual or unusual? Is Kid Cudi taking a stand usual or unusual?
Usual. He blew up my fucking car, dude. Like, Kid Cudi,
he got to deal with that shit. He got to deal with that shit in the streets.
Kid Cudi, fuck you. I'm putting away the devil. Fuck, this is Diddy. First,
he got to get his get back.
Listen,
what they say, he got to get that shit back in blood, nigga.
First off,
fucking courtroom. What is he doing?
The fact that we are there are a couple of things here. One, if no one knew why Cudi, if you didn't know why Cudi was going to take the stand, Young Thug tweeting that makes it look like Young Thug was at the Diddy parties. Second, I don't know why we're holding Kid Cudi, the guy that sings about how sad and how much of a weirdo, lonely kid he was, and we're like applying street like.
So let me tell you what let me tell you what they're saying. They said, look, bro, y'all saying Cudi is a civilian when all he do
drugs.
I'm about to say, yeah, well, all he do is rap about how he do drugs, illegal drugs on all of his songs, and y'all talking about he a civilian? Y'all talking about like that's okay? But the same nigga that be rapping about smoking marijuana, doing DMT, really? He need to get that shit back in blood, nigga.
You know what?
That's the type of time that we on.
By that logic, the Beatles should have got it back in blood when John Lennon got shot because they rapped about LSD. They should have fucking got it back in blood. Like, what are we talking about? Who are these? These are fucking dumbass engagement bots. What are we saying?
Nah, man, it was an actual dude that said that. It was a prominent
It's a real
rapper.
Individual. It's a real dude, bro.
Yeah, Glasses Malone.
Wait, this is like a known. This is like a known person.
Yeah, he's a rapper. He's a rapper.
Who?
Glasses Malone.
That's somebody that doesn't have shit going on. They're trying to pop up. Like,
I think he's an OG. He's like I think he's an OG.
Glasses Malone.
Yeah.
Is this something am I wrong?
No, you're right. But he said he said that.
All right. Okay.
He said that, and then everybody on Twitter cooked him. And one of the statements was like, "Nah, you've been on some different shit. So this might just be this might just be the most recent in a long line of." Yeah,
I wish Keanu was here so she could have done. What's that shit Bad Baby says or Bad Barbie says?
Who is you?
Who is you? I think that is the appropriate response here to Glasses Malone giving a statement about anything.
Oh my god!
Who is you?
Who is
like,
you?
what are you talking about?
No, that is crazy.
And again, this is the second time this podcast you have made me side with someone that I am upset with right now. I don't want to be on Cudi's side.
Why are you saying with Cudi's side? Why are you saying with Cudi? He didn't do anything.
Because he's making fucking dog shit ass music.
Okay,
bro.
but you don't have to be upset with him. You might not.
No, I'm not upset. I'm upset with myself that I have to defend him because that's the reasonable thing to do because I want to be a reasonable person.
Why wasn't the Cudi drop a topic?
Why wasn't it a topic? Because we don't need to talk about that.
Because who gives a? Because it's dog shit.
Why not?
If I don't want to talk about it, if you wanted to talk about it, put it in the chat.
I think if Sean
ask yourself that. Ask yourself why it wasn't a topic.
I think if Sean didn't want to talk about it, that says everything about it.
We need to ignore that single like it hadn't come out yet. Pick another single. I feel like this album might not be as bad as like what I might think it. Some people may think it is. I think it will be a solid album. He's just screaming on that song, and he does not need to be screaming that way.
That's just going to be 20 songs long, and it's going to be a bunch of nonsense.
We can get some bangers on there, man.
No, we're not.
I got faith. I got faith in Cudi.
You're going to find a banger to pretend to like. Anyways. No.
Look.
Yeah, dude, if you blew up my car, I'm snitching. Like, what the fuck? It's not even snitching. You attacked me. You're a terrorist to my life. You blew up my fucking car. Who are you? You're the devil. Put him under the jail. It
is definitely usual for I think for Kid Cudi to testify against Diddy, especially. But one thing that some people weren't understanding is he was subpoenaed to court, so he didn't have a choice.
Yeah, he said he laughed like a maniac while he did it too. So like
he did.
Yeah,
that's kind of fire.
That's what Cudi was like. Cudi said that. No, not.
Cudi, not Cudi testifying. Diddy.
Yeah, he's saying that Diddy was laughing like that when he did it. He was laughing like an evil villain. I think the quote was.
That's crazy.
It's like the plot of Joker 2.
Something about some female being around too, or something like that. I can't really remember the exact details, but
that's insane, man. But look, we gonna end the pod right there. Honestly, a great pod. I do not have a signature saying this episode because I didn't even think about it till now. But I think this is a great episode. We found some good things to chat about, man. We will be back.
We need Keanu.
I know, right? Yeah, but we will be back. Maybe not next week, but the week after that, because this week, 4 of our potters are heading to.
We're going to DreamCon, guys. Meet us up. Meet up with us. Everyone come down to come see us at DreamCon. We're going to be there. We're going to have a panel. We're going to take a foldable table and we're going to make a panel right next to the restroom.
Honestly, that should be the goal. Is like we go this year, and then by next year we actually have a panel because we're that fucking important.
We have one right now.
I mean,
backed by DreamCon.
So many things would have to be different for that to happen.
You're right about that. You're right about that. Look, but it's going to be Josuke. It's going to be Buku Joe. It's going to be me and Carl. Me and Carl are actually we're cosplaying. So if you guys do watch the pod,
kiss.
look out. Yeah, that's going to happen too. But look out for some photos and maybe some videos. Maybe we'll come up with some ideas to have some fun out there as the usual spot pod goes to DreamCon, guys. But we do appreciate everybody for listening. Yeah, this was great. Any closing remarks from anybody else?
Randy Pitchford,
and that's a no.
Keep Randy Pitchford outside of medieval times.
You guys heard it here, man. Keep Randy Pitchford out of medieval times. There we go. All right, guys.
Don't let him go.
All right, and peace.
Bye.